So, but again, when was the first time?
That's what I'm trying to remember because it was that was the haze. That was the haze.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Candidly Speaking with Tinisha Brignoni. On our last episode, Mike Agent X Clark taught us how he makes his famous barbecue chicken.
Looks good.
Yeah, look at that drip.
All right.
Yeah, we're going.
So now that we have that chicken already, we need to have some sides to go with that because although we are carnivores, we just can't sit around and eat meat. So we're gonna learn how to make Arroz Con Gandules, which is basically Spanish rice and beans. And please forgive my pronunciation because my Spanish sucks. I took 3 semesters of that, but that's a whole nother story. In any event, I'm so glad that you guys came back to join me. Let's go ahead and get this party going.
The haze was while practicing. I'm doing these little street parties.
Okay, let me ask you this then. When was the most memorable time? Let's just say ever.
In the early days.
Let's just say ever. You have one memorable time that was like your favorite DJ moment ever.
After you get your oil nice and hot, your olive oil, you want to go ahead and add your pork steak to it. I chop my pork steak up into little tiny pieces like this. And that's already pre-cooked and seasoned. So we're just going to add that in. Then we're going to add a packet of the Sazon to the pork steak. Stir that up like this. We'll get it mixed up nice. And while that pork steak is simmering, I'm going to add this is probably about a tablespoon of garlic. This is my last bit of garlic, but hopefully you'll have more than that. And I'm cooking this on medium high. This is to get all the flavor into that good old pork steak. Even though we baked it and we seasoned it up, this just adds more flavor.
I remember one time in Switzerland, I was there. It was just kind of all the parties I do there. And I didn't know him. And this was, back in the day. This guy had a pillowcase full of weed. And he gave it to me. I didn't even know what he was doing. He was like, I grew this myself. This is for you.
Wow.
I thought it was like some apples or just some farm shit because he looked like a farmer.
He was a farmer. Very good.
I looked in there and I just seen this, not those small bowls. I'm talking pillowcase.
Wow.
And it was filled with weed.
Wow.
I'm sitting there like in Switzerland with a bag full. I ain't never seen that much weed.
You couldn't take it
in my
home,
life.
could you?
No.
So you had to smoke it all while you were there?
Man, I had the biggest weed party. First I gotta tell you, when he sent it, I looked at it, I just dropped it. I just ran around the room real quick. Wait a minute. I couldn't handle it.
Running around the room.
I ran around, I was like, ah! Came back. Wow. What, I just get as much as I want? No, the whole bag is yours.
So now that that's been cooking for about maybe 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cups of rice. And I'm going to add another packet of this Sazon to the rice. So we're just going to mix that up like this. That gives the rice the color and the flavor. Some people chop up onions, but I don't like onions, so I don't put onions in mine. I like them, but I don't like them in this.
You were saying?
So, Mike, what is that you're drinking over there?
This is rum and coke,
rum
right?
And coke. That's the original. It's an old school original.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah,
favorite.
Like
cheers.
So, cheers.
It's a smiling drink. Make you smile.
Right. So let's talk about the very first electronic music festival, which is now called what? The Movement Festival?
Yeah. Movement, DMF, Electronic Music Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Movement. DMF was Detroit Electronic Music Festival. Yes. I remember, it was Carl Craig's baby at the time.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was touring with Carl. I had a record release on his label. It was a very good record.
What's the name of it?
In the Morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a sample track. I took a small portion of Shaka Khan, I Love You, I Love You, mixed it with Suzy Q, I Can't Get Any More.
What was it like? Like, we didn't know. You knew what not to expect. Had no idea. Was this going to be big? Was it going to be a lot of people?
Right.
I mean, before it happened, were you expecting such a large crowd?
Honestly, I just didn't know what to expect, and because, I've been I've been in show business
Right.
for years. I just got a certain attitude towards it, period. On a day of performance, I'm just open. Because, coming up, I used to get nervous, you don't know what to expect, you start freaking out, you start thinking all kind of crazy. But because I learned to embrace the unexpected through the years of, being me, doing what I do, we had the meetings, and I had an idea of what it was going to be like, but even though it matched it, it still didn't. Like, I knew it was going to be a Heart Plaza, so I knew I was imagining this crowd of people and we're DJing. But when it actually happened, my imagination of what I thought and what actually was happening was different.
Right.
Was
it better or worse? Or?
I was way better, man.
Okay,
it almost brought tears to my eyes.
After the rice and meat have been cooking, I'm going to go ahead and add some water to it. Now, I have 2 cups, but to be quite honest with you guys, I don't normally measure anything, so I just kind of play it by sight. That looks like pretty much enough water. It's just basically covering the top of the rice. So after we add the water, we're going to add 1 can of pigeon peas, 3/4 a jar of olives. I like a lot of olives. I would say that's probably about a 1/4 cup of tomato sauce. Stir that up a little. Then I add a mess of sofrito. Just kidding. That's going to be about maybe 2 tablespoons of sofrito. About 2 tablespoons of ricotta. 2 large tablespoons. And I'm going to stir it some more to see how thick this is. Right now I'm okay with the consistency. Maybe it could be just a little thinner, but I think I'm going to leave it alone because, I want it to be perfect. Like, I don't like my rice mushy and I don't like it too hard. And it's kind of a art to this, so I'm going to leave this alone for a while. And we're going to wait till that boils.
The true difference between house and techno is cities. When I say that, house music came from Chicago, techno came from Detroit. And that's what everybody knows. But the thing that not everyone really knows is that at the time when it came out, we were making the exact same music. They were making tracky shit, they were making techie sounding shit, they were making vocal shit, we was making vocal shit, we was making techie shit, we was making, musical sounding stuff, whatever. But because, and this is my version, because Chicago and Detroit was tight. We was doing our thing. The rest of the world had their perception. In my world, I think somehow the world got confused on what was coming out of Detroit and what was coming out of Chicago.
So now, as you can see, the pot is boiling. You got a nice little steady boil going on there. So I want to turn this down to a medium, low, not medium low. We want it low. So it's just a little bubbles coming up. Then I'm going to put a nice tight fit top on here and let this steam. I won't check it for maybe about 10, 15 minutes just to see where we're at. And when I check it, what I do is I just fluff it around with a fork and then I put the top back on there. And I kind of check periodically until it's done, maybe every 5 minutes or so. And that's basically it.
From what I remember, there was a San Francisco magazine named Accelerator that had a front page article saying the difference between house and techno. And when I read it, it was an insult coming out of Detroit because, one, you got a city way on the other side of America telling the world the difference between what goes on in Chicago and Detroit.
Right.
You know, to me, that's disrespectful to begin with. You didn't interview nobody. You just said it. And because you were one of the first ones to say it, in my eyes, that I saw, you are one of the ones responsible for the misconception of what the world looks at it as today.
Okay, so the rice has been steaming for about 10 minutes, so let's see what's going on here. Looks good. The water or the liquid is pretty much soaked up, but it's still wet enough where I know we can steam it longer. It's not done, because I can look at it and tell it's not done. It still looks pretty hard. I mean, when you cook for so many years, a lot of stuff is by sight, and that's kind of how I go. So I can look at it and tell it's not done. So I'm just going to make sure it's nice and smooth, and I'm going to put the top back on here and cook it a little longer.
Now that everybody can do house, and it's not strictly a Chicago thing, you know, they're allowing Detroiters to have house. I remember back when anything we made, they called it Techno. And it wasn't because it was Techno in the way we looked at it. It was because they were defining it as Techno as they looked at it, which was registered as a sound that really came out of Germany, and only limited cats in Detroit was actually making.
Okay, let's see where we at with this rice. Oh wow, it is all done. I just want to take the fork and just fluff it up a little bit like this, just so that the grains are nice and loose. I don't like gummy anything, and this kind of just helps me be sure that it's not going to be gummy. And we are all set.
That's why that history of that DJ contest that created this whole thing, that was how it started.
Let's talk about that DJ contest. What was the DJ contest that made techno or house music evolve as it did?
Well, that was the drumming show.